Hello, welcome back. Sorry about the noisy recording yesterday, but we are all living our lives. The world doesn't stop for our YouTube videos, does it? So this is the penultimate stage. Always love that word. I learned it watching the Tour de France. Of the Tour de France Femmes, and it may well be a very, very momentous day. So, speaking of the word penultimate, this is also the penultimate climb of the day. That Annemiek van Vleuten, another one of the former world champions in this race, is about to go over. Very German-sounding climb. It is the Col de Platzerwasser. Sorry, my German isn't good enough to know what that means. But Annemiek has been very quiet in the action up until today, and apparently she's been sick with a gastro flu, so God knows what that's been like for her. But yesterday in interviews was letting people know that A, she felt good again, and when this woman feels good, everybody else better look out. Now from this painting over here, you can see she had one companion with her, but she has dropped absolutely everybody in the race, and it's gone off. She's been off since the first climb of the day. She went over second on the Petit Ballon. It was 78 kilometers ago. She was over the top of that one first. And here she goes over the second climb of the day first. I'm quite sure she'll go over the last climb of the day first, unless she's not doing as well as she thinks she is, which can happen. She's certainly feeling a lot better than she has, much to every other woman's in the race's chagrin. So she had one rider who she absolutely had to lose, because that rider, Demi Vollering, was ahead of her in the GC. So in her bid to take over yellow, she couldn't very well carry the person one position ahead of her in the race to the race finish. So on the upper slopes of this climb, she attacked, and Vollering just did not have the strength to go with her. And when you're in that situation, when you are a rider, it is wise to go, okay, I can't quite go with this move, so I'm just going to ride at my own pace. Because if you go too deep, you can completely blow, and then if you completely blow, the whole peloton can catch you up, and then that's it. I mean, your race is over for the day. So she is, while not wanting to, she's let Annemiek go in hopes that she'll come right and be able to chase her back down. Now they're about to go on a long descent. I don't remember how many kilometers it is, but it's a long one. And she's got a good chance that she can catch her up on the descent. Used to be in the races that the descents were sort of a non-thing. It was just get down the mountain. But now racers have figured out that you can actually use the mountain descent to take over, to jump positions. Several riders in the Tour have made their moves that put them into yellow on a descent rather than a climb. So, every chance Watercolor can come back. Now, I am a little late today, but I am painting this as live, so I have no idea how this is all going to pan out. And that's, if I can't be literally painting it live, I do paint it as live. So, at this point, I have no more idea. Well, no, not no more. I have no idea how this race is going to turn out. One thing I can say is that the yellow is going to change hands. As wonderful as Marianne Vos is, she is not a climber. She had said at the beginning of the race, her goal was to win stages. I think she's come out much better than she thought it would. But she never thought she could win the race, because this race, with this stage of 3 mountaintop mountains, and tomorrow's stage with 3, the last one being the finish. So this race ends atop a mountain. So unlike the tradition that we've grown used to in the men's Tour de France, where it ends on the Champs-Élysées, and it's the first half of the race is a procession because the yellow jersey has been decided. This race will be raced up until the top of that climb, because, you know, the climbers are going to compete against each other. And that race will continue until the last pedal stroke. And I think it's most likely whoever gets over that climb first, unless it's a big group that comes together to the line, but whoever gets over that climb first will almost definitely be the first winner of the new incarnation of the women's Tour de France, the Tour de France Femmes. Now, you've heard me talk, if you've watched any of these, about working through the palette, light to dark, warm to cool. So you may be wondering, why didn't you do that this time? I may be too, but you know, as always in art, rules are made to be broken. I think I just forgot about red. I've done the yellows. I haven't done the orange or the red. Probably should do the red first, because if I put that orange next to the blue that I just painted, I'm going to have a problem with bleeding color. So this, you know, someday I may get there, but the sponsors, the grocery store, Leclerc, who sponsors the polka dot jersey, in the caravan that goes ahead of the race is sort of, you know, where all the publicity and marketing and all of that happens, they seem to give out more t-shirts than any other member of the publicity caravan. Because when you get to the top of the climb, virtually everybody on the hillside, all the fans are either wearing polka dot jerseys themselves, or t-shirts, or hats, or both. So that's, people will be out here all day, and in some cases camp out for a day or two so they can be on the momentous climbs. I'm sure the crowds on the final stage are going to be huge, but they will camp out and just wait for the race to arrive. And one of their little perks is the caravan comes along tossing out all kinds of mementos. Which are coveted. You should look for English Tifosi. There's more to his name on Twitter. But he's had a couple exhibitions now. He has an amazing, and I mean amazing, collection of Tour de France souvenirs, memorabilia. He's done a couple exhibitions now of this stuff. He's a Brit, but he's been on French TV showing his incredible collection. I'm hoping someday to get to go to England and see his collection. So I recommend giving him a follow. Look for the English Tifosi, Tifosi. If I remember when I post this, I will get his exact Twitter handle and put it in the description. Now that I'm caught up and I'm actually posting I will be posting this painting the same day as the race. The stage took a while. There's a lot of moving parts for me in this. So sometimes I get behind. So I'm sort of bouncing around again to show this climb, and by this forced perspective, and then you get this bend, and with that red, it kind of draws your eye back there. So again, using things that are in the image. I mean, that is the race lead vehicle, and it's actually there, but including it in the painting, because unlike photography, I have the option of including or not including things. Just saw something I missed. That's the wonderful thing about art, is with photography, you're kind of stuck with what's actually there. I mean, you can manipulate things, and I guess nowadays with Photoshop you can pull things out. But I can choose what I want to include and what I want to leave out. So the most obvious application of that is like telephone poles that are in the painting that I don't want. Although telephone poles can be very useful in creating a sense of depth in a painting. So this is the dark pine trees, the underlight of it. A little bit like Bob Ross's Happy Trees. So again, using my brush stroke. And by using this dark, it'll help define the white of the signage. You know, it helps pop that by virtue of having dark pine. So I'll finish this dark and then come back in and add light. So I got a little too much water in the brush here. So coming back with a little more pigment. Just realized I want to make the brush strokes go down, not up. Pine trees don't have their pine boughs going up like fronds. So now I'm going to get a slightly brighter green. So I'm going to take that same color, add some of this yellowy green to it, touch more green, because that was too bright. And now come back, still making that same brush stroke, that downward diagonal. So now really all I need to do, I think, well, I got to do the dark of her bike. I forget what bikes movie star rides. So all of these riders, teams, have bike sponsors. I mean, what better way to show off your bike, particularly if you had the good fortune to be backing the winner of the tour. But you know, what better way for a bike company to show off how great their bikes are than to have their bike win a race? So clearly the cost of giving out a few bikes is a lot cheaper than the cost of advertising. Okay, so now all I have to do is the road surface. I'm trying to decide, because there is a lot of shadow of trees coming across here, whether I want to use that or not. I think I will. So I'm going to add blue to that same black I just made for my deep shadow. And then now, so this is the shadow of the placard that goes across the road. Then we've got some trees. And I realized right there I forgot her other elbow. I do like that. I like the way that looks. Now the next question is, do I just leave that as white paper? Probably not. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't. So if that's in shadow, that means this wall is in shadow. So I'm just going to, yeah, I thought that red might not be dry enough. So now I think what I'll do is do that same, I'm going to warm this up just a little bit, put a little orange into it. Yeah, that works. So there we go. Of course, I forgot to sign it. I think I'm going to call this, because she's off and it actually looks like she's certainly on her way to winning the stage, so we're going to call it Searching for Yellow. Oopsie. And I will remind you all that you can see all of the cycling art at theartofcycling.blogspot.com. The work is all for sale, and plus more of my art at gregleach.com. The website is having difficulties. They just upgraded it. We all know what that means. And so if you have problems, just email me and we can solve it. And I do appreciate you watching. I hope you will give me your thoughts, give me your reaction. Love to know what you think, so leave a comment if you would. Also, it does help with the whole algorithm thing. Give it a thumbs up at the very least. And if you feel it's necessary, I'm a big boy. I can take the thumbs down. So thank you so much for watching. And just one more day, and then the posting is going to get a little less regular. Thank you all.